1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen, Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup too. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
Welcome to Southside Pod. My name's Chris. That's Bill. That's
Welcome.
Mike. Yes.
Yo!
The 9-foot homemade oak bar.
Are we calling it the SSP yet? All the kids like to abbreviate.
So when my daughter is typing okay to me,
Wait,
she
how do
just
you
writes
shorten
K.
okay?
She just writes K.
K, the letter K.
There
So
was
what
a
do you-
point where she
what?
was writing KK, and I was like,
don't
why
do
are
that.
you doing
One
it?
letter short of a
Yeah.
problem.
And she
Yeah.
goes, I know.
K.
At first I was like, why is it every time she says okay, she's just writing KK? And she's like, well, it's quicker. And I said,
No.
you're writing 2 letters, and there's another 2 letters, and if you slip, they're going to throw you out of school. You can't do that.
Bad idea.
So then, like, now she just writes K.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's what she does. I don't understand how OK needs to be shortened, but she does.
So what are the kids calling the
SSP, they
Southside
probably
Pod?
wouldn't do. I don't think they would do that. They might just call that, like, I don't know what they would call it. Maybe there might be an emoji for
pod?
it. There might be an emoji for it.
There's probably an
Like,
emoji.
that's what you know you're
Southpod.
cool when you become an emoji. And I'm sure there's a lot of really useless emojis that are still in there that are sitting in people's phones that don't mean anything.
Really?
You know? Oh, yeah.
I don't
It's
use
okay.
emoji. I don't even know.
You've never used an emoji? Ever?
Never used an eggplant?
No, I still just put like a
peach?
colon and a parentheses, and it doesn't come up.
It's like 1970, 1997.
ASCII.
Yeah.
All right, here,
And
let's
then he
see.
prints it out on
Let's
the
see if there's ones that
screen.
we... Now, here, look. There is
10.
an emoji
colon.
that just looks like the side
Open
silhouette of a face yelling. Like,
What does
that
that
could be
mean?
Southside
That's going to be the
Pod.
Southside Pod.
That could be the Southside Pod
the
emoji.
side
I
of a
would think
face
that.
yelling. That's
like-
what you
it
want
looks
to
like
be
that. I mean, I'm just...
our emoji.
There would probably just be the poop emoji. Let's be honest.
It is now time for your Southside Pod Word on the Street, brought to you by Leapforth Law. Larry Leapforth, a close personal friend, has practiced law in the South suburbs for decades. A former president of the Southwest Bar Association, he has brought in single settlements of over $10 million for personal injury lawsuits and also handles criminal defense, real estate, probate, and corporate law. Reach out to Larry. Get help if you need it. 708-499-6300 or go to leapforthlaw.com. Well, the governor of Illinois basically came out on Wednesday and said the peak of Omicron is over. And his public health director was quoted as saying, we may be able to have it as something we coexist with now. Which is interesting because if you're paying attention, the UK got rid of everything. Their vaccine mandates, their masks for everybody, everything. They just ended it this week. We may be turning a corner. In the meantime, it's still an important thing to get yourself tested, and there are free tests everywhere for COVID-19. Village of Evergreen Park does it on Wednesdays and Fridays over at Yukich Field for free PCR or rapid test, 89th in California. Moraine Valley at the Palos Hills campus, the Education Center in Blue Island, and their facility at 179th and 94th Avenue in Tinley Park, they have, throughout the week, free COVID testing. Check their website for the dates and times. Meanwhile, if you're in Oak Lawn and you're a student looking for community service hours, the Village has a growing list of older residents who need some help, especially when the snow falls. Man, I used to make $10-20 a house. Get out there and get to work, kids. If you want to volunteer and you're in Oak Lawn, 708-499-7738. The Windy City Thunderbolts are in Crestwood and they're looking for interns. From now through the 15th of March, you can go on their website, wcthunderbolts.com, and sign up for a summer internship. They're looking for help with ticketing, stadium operations, social media, broadcasting, promotions, retail, and merchandise. What the heck you may spend the summer at Ozinga Field. And in Orland Park, police are asking interested businesses or people that have security cameras to register with them. If you do this, it may be easier to solve crimes that happen near your cameras. It's a brand new program announced this week. If you're in Orland and you want to register your camera, it could even be your Ring doorbell. Go check out all the details at orlandpark.org. And finally, the big news of the week, Bill bought a new truck. Now let's talk about
All
this.
black Dodge Ram.
Did he really get an all-black Dodge Ram?
The black windows,
That's
black
like the
steering
thing.
Oh, the
wheel.
night edition.
That is such a Southside car.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
All-black Dodge
Well,
Ram.
by the way, do you have White Sox black license plates with it too? 'Cause that would be the most Southside
Do
thing.
you have the Kelvin and Hobbs where he's peeing on another car maker?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing the picture right here. Look at that.
Oh yeah, baby.
Pretty.
Oh,
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Southside right there.
Picking it up tomorrow.
All the girls in Alsip are going to get excited when that drives through town. Look at that thing right there, man.
I'm excited.
That's seriously.
The inside is like a Tesla. It's got a 12-inch screen,
Yeah.
all like leather trim. It's beautiful inside there.
So why that style, first of all?
Well,
Because it's a
we
truck,
bought a
it's got
camper.
a bed.
We bought a camper last year, so we needed something with a
Gotta
good
haul it,
towing
yeah.
power, right?
Ah, okay.
So we looked at a couple of things, and for our size camper, we're kind of limited on what we could buy.
Yeah, but something big enough.
So I was going to get a 1500, but that would have towed it, but not well. We wanted something with more power. So
No,
we
you
got
gotta have
40
more
miles
a
an
power.
hour.
2500.
You got to have something where you can put the big giant Bears flag on the back of it
Yeah,
when you
right.
drive
The American
downtown.
flag.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, big America flag.
Yeah.
So how was the shopping experience? Like, did you already know
I
what
just
you
built
wanted?
it. I built it, and it took 4 months to get
Online.
here.
So you didn't go talk to anybody?
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When it's online, I'm sure you get stupid.
Yeah,
When you're
it
putting
was-
the extras on, you're probably because it's like playing like something like playing an app. It's like you're building your own truck in an app, but in reality, it costs a lot of money.
Right, and the picture just keeps getting prettier and prettier.
All of a sudden, there's like sunshine coming out of it. Like
it
it's
starts
crazy.
like an old rusty farm truck. It's like a video game, and you gotta like, would you like to buy the paint?
yeah,
Yeah.
The more all of a sudden a swimsuit model pops
Yeah,
up next
right.
to it if you put enough stuff on
Ooh,
there.
nice decals. Yeah, it is nice. But yeah, we're gonna do some Griswold family vacations next year. It's gonna be fun.
So have you ever done the road trips before?
Not yet. I've never pulled a camper in my life.
No, but have you ever just done a road trip? Like, I don't have a camper, but I always say, okay, we're all getting in the SUV and we're driving
Not
to
far.
such and such state.
Not
I've
far.
done that before.
No, they're still a little bit too small for that. I couldn't handle that personally.
So when you have the camper, does that mean you're always pulling into a place then the camp? Like, you're never going to stay in a hotel when you're on a trip?
Probably, yeah. Which is going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
I think that's cool, but I mean, like, I guess it is.
My
I mean,
kids are like camping kids already, though. They love
They
it.
like to do the
That's
outdoor
good.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now tell me about this because this is something I've never done.
Sure.
I honestly need to know. So have you been to campsites before?
Of course.
Okay, I've never done this.
Yes, okay.
So I'm always one of those guys that drives past the such and such park or whatever, the
Right.
campsite or wherever, where people are pulling in their stuff and
Yeah.
they've got maybe a pool there or they got
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And you go and you hook up. Of
course.
Right?
Yep.
But I drive by and I go, well, that seems interesting, but I can't wait to get into the hotel with the down pillow and,
Sure.
the central air and the indoor pool. Like,
But you're
that's
going to pay $250 a night, and I'm going to pay $37.
that's it. That's all you're dropping. when
I
you're
don't know.
there.
The places are different, but
Okay.
And the kids get, that's nice.
Do you
That. I
meet,
got
like, a
I got
lot-
a queen size bed.
Do you find
inside there.
yourself
The kids got
like,
bunk beds. I got full kitchen. I got everything I need.
Are you interacting with the neighbors and something like that more
We
than
have
a
like a
hotel?
home base campground in Indiana that we do that with. You
Okay.
know. But when you're just going like cross country or something like that to a different state, you maybe
When you
not
pull
talking
in, you're
to
probably
people.
not talking to the
No,
other
you're
people,
probably there
right?
for the night.
Right.
It's like a hotel.
Right. Do you ever
know?
get nervous though, being out there in the woods? Like you just happen to pull your camper up next to like the Manson family? Like that's the thing I would worry about.
Okay.
Like you're out there, you park the car, you're in the woods.
Yeah.
Creepy one pulls up next to you.
Right.
Now you got to decide: do I move or do I just say I'm overreacting?
He's really never camped.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this works.
No.
I don't know how this works. I don't think everybody on the South Side has camped before. I don't think I'm the only guy on the South Side that hasn't camped.
More people on the south side have camped than the north side.
Yeah, I was gonna
okay.
say, yeah.
But I've never camped before, so fill me in on it a little bit.
I mean, you just pull into a spot. I mean, you don't really worry about your neighbors. They don't talk to you. You don't talk to them.
Oh,
Especially
everybody
once
just
it's
keeps to
dark.
Things are the
themselves.
people that are like our partiers are going to be too loud and late, but they're probably going to get busted by the campground because they have hours. They have quiet hours.
So there's some law and order in these places.
course.
There's people
Absolutely.
okay. Not like just
Not
pulling
anarchy.
in.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not complete anarchy.
I don't know. I mean, I've never done it before. Maybe
you
I
take
need to
him
get a
camping
camper.
this summer?
Yeah, probably going to take them. Let's
Maybe
do
I
a
need to
south
get
side
you-
camping trip.
Southside
That'll be
camping trip.
great.
Yeah.
You could do a song about it.
Let's do a song right now. You seriously never been camping?
No, I've never been camping before.
Would you want to learn what it's like? via song?
Okay.
Well, grab your tennis shoes and your canoe and your old flat top guitar, your fishing pole, your 10-foot holes, and throw it in the back of your car. We're going camping. Are you ready for some camping? Out in the woods, we'll have a heck of a time. We're going camping. Are you ready for some camping? Whoa, whoa. Out in the woods, we'll have a heck of a time. That's basically what it's like.
I mean, it sounds fun.
Does it?
Not really. Can you tell me more?
I could. Would you like to hear more?
Sure.
We'll eat hot dogs and beans and swim in the stream, swinging on a rope and a tire. In the great outdoors, eating marshmallow s'mores, laughing and singing around the fire. We're going camping. Are you ready for some camping? Out in the woods, we'll have a heck of a time. We're going camping. Are you ready for some camping? Whoa, whoa. Out in the woods, we'll have a heck of a time. We'll have a heck of a time. We'll have a heck of a time. Something like that. If you'd like to go sometime, I'll take you.
Is there beer?
Absolutely.
I'm in! I have a confession to make. It's true, and I'm guessing you have done the same thing. Put more time into thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for your retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree with you, and I want to help you out. I've got a local, experienced, down-to-earth guy who's a friend of this show. He's got a get-to-know-you approach and do the right thing values, and he's been around for over 20 years right here on the South Side. His name is Tom Walsh. He's located on the corner of 111th and Kedzie, and he's waiting for your call. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call someone who's invested in your success. Reach out to Tom now, 773-779-0023, or pop in at the office right on 111th and Kedzie. Tell him we sent you. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC. It is now time for your South Side Sound Check. Live music is back at many venues. Check out these. There are 3 big shows going on the South Side on Saturday. If you're in Crestwood, maybe you want to go to the Thirsty Beaver. Cadillac Groove is going to be there, 9 p.m. until 12 a.m. on the 22nd. Call ahead to reserve a table for the biggest little rock and roll dive bar on the South Side. Meanwhile, in Palos, Ashley Victoria will be at the Rooftop Tap. $10 cover at the door, and you will hear your favorite top country and rock songs, as well as some of her original music. If you want to reserve a spot in advance, 708-361-1226. Remember, the Southside Soundcheck is brought to you by Dreamers Towing and Recovery. 24/7, 365 whenever you need them, and they'll also buy your junk cars. Give them a call at 773-410-4549. If you're in Blue Island on Saturday night, the Blue Island Beer Company has Fighting for Scraps, Keeping It Real in the Wayback Room. $10 at the door, 21 and over, for regional punk superstars fighting for scraps. Now maybe, instead of a concert, you're looking for a movie. We've got the guy for you. So as everybody knows, a couple of weeks ago, I came down with the Rona, and we didn't do a show. And I'm convinced that I got it at Spider-Man Far From Home. What is it? No Way Home? What's the name of it, Ben? What is it?
No Way Home, yep.
I was at Spider-Man No Way Home. Ben Belton's on the line with me. The movie's almost killed me, Ben. I mean, I don't get it. I follow all the rules. I had my little mask on until I sat in my seat, and then I was allowed to sit in a room with about 150 people and take my mask off for 3 hours in a room with the doors closed and eat popcorn and drink pop because it was safe. and I ended up with the Rona. But the movie was great. It was a great movie. Ben Belton's our Hollywood Insider. He's on the line right now. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing good. I think the new person that does Joe Biden did a pretty good job, and I did think it was pretty funny that they linked all of the COVID spread to, unfairly, of course, to Spider-Man. But
I know. I saw that and I was laughing. I was like, that is true. That is true. I went 2 years without getting it. I went and saw Spider-Man. COVID. It popped out of nowhere. So
I'm not laughing at, for the record, I'm not laughing at you getting it.
Well, I lived, so you can laugh at me. It's totally fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That movie, first of all, one of the epic movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but the fact that they link in all of the other Spider-Man movies beforehand, it was an amazing movie. I enjoyed it. It was a tearjerker. It brought about emotions. It was a roller coaster ride at the end of it. I was like, wow, that was a great movie. And then the movie that I didn't go see in the theaters and I waited for on Disney Plus, the other Marvel movie that's out recently, The Eternals, was the exact opposite. It was a terrible script. I didn't care about any of the characters. I hated it totally, and I don't understand why it was even made. Ben, what is going on with the Eternals? And please tell me they will not make any more of those.
Well, the issue with the Eternals was that it was on paper the perfect film, but it was different. And Sony, I think, knows how to make great Marvel films. They did it with Venom, and the second Venom just did over 500 million. So I think what happened is they put together a lot in a film and it just didn't connect. But to that point, it also did break a record for Disney Plus, had over 2 million viewers in the first 5 days it was released to Disney Plus. And
yeah, because nobody wanted to spend any money on it. So they just waited until it showed up for free because they have a Disney Plus subscription. That doesn't mean that people like the movie. See, that's the thing. Yeah. I think these studios sometimes convince themselves that people like it. Like, remember Meet Joe Black? Wasn't Meet Joe Black, like, people thought it was a great movie? It wasn't a great movie. It had the trailer. Like it. It had the trailer for the first Star Wars since the original trilogy, and everybody went to go see it. And then they ran out of the theater and didn't even watch the movie. And that's kind of how this feels. Because let me be honest with you. 2 things that I hated about the Eternals. I'm going to tell you right now. One, a god supposedly made all these perfect eternal beings that never age and are perfect, except one of them is deaf and dumb and uses American Sign Language, which they're able to understand in Babylon in ancient times. None of that makes any sense, okay? But that was just something that irked me. The thing that really bothered me was you did something like 25, 30 Marvel Universe movies, okay? And in the end, none of them mattered because there was a god inside of the earth that was just going to crack it open like an egg and kill everybody anyway. So nothing that you've watched up to this point meant anything. Like, why would you make a movie like that?
Well, it did do over 400 million.
Oh,
so, I mean, to some point,
terrible.
They're, and like I said, they'll probably make some money at, DVD and Blu-ray and all the other good stuff out there, digital sales. And now that's kind of the fear with some of the things coming forward. It's like, are they working on the quality of these films in the same way that arguably Sony did with this last Spider-Man? Or are they just putting out content to create a universe where they can ultimately, hopefully at some point, make better films? That's the hope.
Listen, I was told at the beginning of that movie that they didn't help fight Thanos because it wasn't part of their mission, only to find out later that their mission was to have the most people possible alive on the planet. So why didn't they stop Thanos from taking out 50%? The movie was so stupid, Ben. Every time I even think about it, I get angry. Let's talk about something else, okay? The one that I'm waiting for is Batman. Batman's always been my favorite of all comic book characters. I've always enjoyed Batman. I've read Batman graphic novels. I've read Batman comic books. I love all the Batman movies. The one with Michael Keaton is still a great movie all these years later. I sat down the other day and watched it because it popped up, I think, on AMC, and I just sat there and watched it. I got caught flipping channels and watched all of Batman. I was like, this movie still stands up all these years later, and we have a new one coming out that I think is right in my wheelhouse as a Batman fan because it's all about the detective side, from what I understand, of Batman. That's what he is, really. He kind of solves crimes and figures out like major cases while dressed as a bat, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be a darker Gotham City. It's going to be the trailer for it is just I can't believe how intense it is. And again, this could be, if you want to look at it from a bigger picture, this could be a big year for DC because they've got not only Batman, they have Batgirl coming out, they have Black Adam coming out with, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They've got The Flash, and they've also got Aquaman. So that is an impressive slate if you look at it compared to what's coming out from Marvel, unless you, of course, subtract the Sony Marvel universe, which has some impressive things like, of course, the sequel to the animated Spider-Man is coming out later this year. And there's a lot of hype behind that.
All right, so now give me, before I get you out of here, movies that are coming out soon that people might want to see here, that might want to go into a theater and roll the dice. I mean, what's the next thing that's going to spread the next variant that people are going to go see over the next couple of months? That's not a comic book movie. What's not a comic book movie that's coming out?
Well, and that was kind of the success story of this last week with Scream. The fifth Scream movie that came out, it actually proved that people will go to the theaters to see something other than something that's, a comic book or a superhero film. So you have a couple of things coming on the way. In the immediate month ahead, are they that exciting to Crystal and Nudie? I'm not so sure.
Well, I don't know. I was looking at the list of them, and I mean, I'm not a big Fantastic Beast guy. My daughter would be into that. That's a Harry Potter thing. I never really played the video game Uncharted, but I could see how people would think that was a cool one that was coming out. Jackass, I'm a little old for it, and so are they. If you've taken a look at those guys, yeah. Johnny Knoxville looks like he's 87 years old. If you get a good look at him, like he looks like he's older than my father, and I know he's not. So he's lived a rough life. And then I saw on the list here, Jewel of the Nile. Are they remaking Jewel of the Nile?
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh is behind that. Of course, they've got an all-star cast, and because of all the controversy with Armie Hammer, it'll probably be his last film, or his last film for a long time. He's in it, as well as Gal from, of course, Wonder Woman, and it's got an all-star cast, and it's supposed to be really good. One of the trends that we're seeing with a lot of these studios, they want to put out these, comic book movies because they perform at the box office. So the real test this year is going to be able to see, is a movie like Uncharted, is it going to be able to, essentially, because Tom Holland is going to be a huge star now. I mean, you have Spider-Man, the last film is now the fourth highest grossing film, I think, of all time in the domestic box office. So the question is it going to show his star power as far as what he can deliver? And, you're going to have some other surprises. You've got another Fantastic Beast movie coming. You've got things like that, as well as a new Jurassic Park movie coming out with Dominion. So you've got some films that aren't necessarily comic book or superhero films. Are they going to perform at the box office? That's the real question.
Is the Top Gun movie ever going to come out?
Yep, it's coming out, and it's, of course, with all the delays and things that they had, but it will be coming out, I believe, this summer is the date.
That's 2 years delayed, isn't it? I remember watching during the Super Bowl in 2020 before the world went crazy and everything hit, the fact that it was going to be coming out and it's still not out yet. It's like Tom Cruise has decided until all of you could be at his movie, he is not releasing that thing. Like that big jerk that he is, just put it on HBO Max and move on like everybody else.
Same is true of Mission Impossible. It got delayed too. And then they did reshoots on it and stuff like that, but it's supposed to come out later in the summer.
Well, the Church of Scientology needs all the money it can get, obviously. Ben Belton, thanks for joining us on Southside Pod, my friend.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod.
OMG.
OMG.
It's the SSP.
It's the SSP.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod. If you got kids, they're in the sports, check out Grinders Training Academy in Evergreen Park, 102nd and Kedzie. They got youth sports training, conditioning, fitness classes for all levels, kids and adults. They provide private coaching and let coaches rent out their facilities. Learn all about what they have to offer at grindersacademy.com. That's grinders with a Z, academy.com. Get them out of the house so they're not driving you nuts.
Kids are so dumb nowadays. Like, were we that dumb, or we just thought we got away with stuff? Because we got away with a lot of stuff.
The other day, I had this rule where they're not allowed to eat food in their room.
That's a good rule.
And I had to go in to one of my kids' rooms because I knew there was something that they had taken, they were using that was like a household item. I think it was like a pair of scissors from the kitchen or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's in their room. So when I walk in
blender.
there, I see this one wrapper. And I'm like, damn it, I told them don't be eating food in the room. when I bend down underneath the bed,
100 wrappers.
not only that, there was a box of cookies or an empty box of
hot dog
cookies.
roller.
Wow.
The kid had gone to the
Popcorn
store
machine.
and bought a box of cookies and was eating. Like, I mean, now here's the thing. It isn't drugs. I mean, it's a teenager, and I found their cookie stash. So this is not
a gateway, though.
Right, so this is a lot easier than what other parents might find. But on the other hand, like, I just stumbled on it. So then I was like, I'm going to toss this room. So I tossed the whole room, man. I didn't find anything, but I'm
like 26 in California style.
I'm tossing this room.
You're flipping mattresses, cutting them open with a knife.
Yeah. Comes home. Why is my stuffed teddy bear cut open? Just wanted to make sure there wasn't any crack in there.
You're clean up your bunk.
But I'm telling you, like, my parents.
Take a shower, you're throwing lye in them and got the hose on them.
My parents somehow just, I mean, I'm telling you right now, there's no way that one of them found the fact that I was like, I mean, most of it was wine coolers. Every once in a while, I'd be able to steal some beers. I was doing my gateway were Bartles and James.
Thank you for your support.
Had little Bartles and James up there.
I remember my parents moved out of their house when I was like 22 and I was helping them move, and they didn't drink a lot at all, but they had a liquor cabinet for when other people came over.
You're like, can I take
And I remember
this?
when they moved, they were cleaning that out, and I grabbed that bottle of vodka that was in there, and I just started chugging it. Because I knew it was water. And they just looked at me like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's water. It's been water for like 5 years, Mom.
I drank it a long time ago. Right. And then I filled it with water. You don't drink. Why would you have this if you don't drink? You see, you have to be a drinker. If you're a drinker, there's less of a chance your kids are actually going to take your booze. Because you'll notice. You're like, oh, hold on a second.
This is why Chris drinks.
I know where Dad
this is how he justifies it. You see this?
I get it.
It's to protect my kids.
Yeah.
That's why I drink so much.
I drink all the bourbon as quickly as I do so they don't drink.
You got to start eating those cookies, too.
Yeah. Obviously, you got to eat the cookies as well. All right, gang, have you been to Blue Island lately? I know some of you listening are from the island or you live around the island. You like to hang out on the island. Double Play Saloon is the spot to be in Blue Island. Daily $5 basket lunch specials, $13 Miller and Bud family buckets, temperature soup. Whatever the temperature is, that's the cost of your soup. When it's cold, soup is cheap. And then don't forget about the Sunday Beanbag League. They're taking signups. The season starts on February the 27th. 10-week-long league. 4 to 8 players per team. Games played on Sunday afternoon. All skill levels. And then on Thursday nights, they have a plastic handicap dart league. Games played every Thursday at 7:30. Remember, that is a darts bar with a big, beautiful long bar and all kinds of areas set up for people to play darts. Signups for that league are the 3rd of February from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. But if you have questions about either one of these leagues, reach out to Tommy. Call or text him at 773-574-0992. Newly remodeled private gaming area. Double Play Saloon, the place to be on the island, 13011 Western Avenue in Blue Island. And with all the TVs there and that feel inside of the Double Play Saloon, you might go there to watch the Olympics. There are a few Southsiders that are actually going to be in the Olympics next month. One of them, brand new to the U.S. women's hockey team out of Evergreen Park, Abbey Murphy, made her first Olympic team. I got to talk with her recently, and I asked her how she was feeling.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really know how to feel at first. I mean, it's a dream come true. Something I've been looking forward to since I was a little kid, since I started playing hockey, but just being there with my teammates and being able to do this with them, it's going to be an awesome time. So it's been a crazy ride. So
what was the process like? I know that it took a long time. I know that there was a point where I want to say 6 months or so, or even earlier than that, people had this idea that you were already on the team, and you weren't exactly there yet. You were close. You were in the running, and then they decided to make their selections. Like, how long is the process for somebody who's up for an opportunity to be on an Olympic team to actually get selected onto the team? It seems to me like you go through a lot.
Yeah, obviously it takes a while till you get noticed, and then I made the world's team, and that was a big part part for me. And I think that's kind of when it all started, when they start to really look at you. But I mean, it all really starts when residency is chosen in October. But even before that, like that tryout, it's pretty big.
Yeah, you've tried out, I'm sure, for teams before in your life, but you've always struck me as somebody who's super confident. You know, I mean, like when you sat down here, I was struck by it when you were on the show last time and you were sitting down. You were like, you know that you have a talent. Like you're not pompous, you're humble, but you have a talent. Was that the most nerve-wracking thing that you've gone through? Like trying out for the Olympic team, knowing that you had this whole journey just to get to this point, and then it was time to actually go out there and show everybody what you had?
Oh gosh, yeah, it was probably the most nervous thing I've had to go through my whole life. If I'm being honest, it's obviously been a long, probably 7, 8 months, but I made it, so couldn't be happier. I mean, wouldn't be here without a lot of people. So I mean, this is just the start.
Yeah, you're right at the beginning of it, and I'm wondering what it's like for you as one of the younger members now. I mean, you're brand new on this team. You're a young member on this team. There are people that are on this team that have played in multiple Olympics. Like, do you get starstruck on your own team? Did you meet a couple of the higher ups there on that Team USA and go, wow, I can't believe I'm sharing the ice with them?
Oh yeah. I still think about it every day. Like I'm friends with them now, and it's just like, obviously they're the leaders on this team, and I never take that for granted. I mean, they're the best role models I can get. Kendall, Hillary, Decker. I mean, there's more than them, but it's huge. And for me to be a part of that and be a younger one learning from them, it's important. And they're paving way for me, and I'm going to pave a way for the next generation too.
Well, I would imagine that you pick their brains, right? I mean, I would imagine if you end up on a team like that, you get to a point in practice, you go up next to them and you're just trying to learn something, right? Like, it's like if I'm next to them, if I'm working out with them, like I might pick something up, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. But they'll pick on me too once in a while.
Oh, you get the rookie hazing?
I mean, not bad, but they'll mess around here and there. But it's all fun and jokes. But we have fun. If
you want to hear the complete interview with Abby, it is on another podcast on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network, the EP Pod, because she's out of Evergreen Park. If you're into baseball, you like the White Sox, recent guest on Sox in the Basement, Liam Hendricks, and this week, Jake Berger on the show. Sox in the Basement, the EP Podcast, Southside Pod, all part of the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network, found anywhere podcasts can be found. And you will find us again next week or anytime on demand at southsidepod.com.
Thank you for listening to see what's happening on the Southside Pod. On the Southside Pod. Join us again and be sure to tell a friend about the Southside Pod. About the Southside Pod. All things about the neighborhood we live in. All things about the places that we go. It's the best side of Chicago, the Southside Pod. You thought the show was over, but here's a bonus song. You thought the show was over, yeah, it was pretty long, but here's a bonus song. This one's too long. This is the bonus song after the last song, which wasn't the last song. We told you it was the last song, but this is the real last song now. The bonus song. You're still here? You should have. What are you waiting for them to take you to the Joe Rogan podcast? the next one in your queue? Because we know we're first. It's really over this time. Okay, you can stop. Right? A little square.
Go on, it's over. Goodbye.